You're going to spend a long time in the pound if you don't tell us what we want to know. But if you tell us what we want to hear, maybe we can work something out.
What's up, guys? Spenny. I don't know all the answers about Charlie Kirk's assassination. I want all of the answers. I'm very much looking forward to letting this trial play out, seeing all of the available evidence. I know, as a matter of fact, that we only have a scintilla of the evidence available, and that evidence has to be presented in trial. If it is leaked out to the media, then judges can strike lawyers or jurors or so on. It can be a mess. It can turn into like the O.J. Simpson trial. And is this the murder trial of the century? Is this murder trial as big as the O.J. Simpson trial? Yes, it is. And so I want this courthouse to go about this methodically and quickly and judiciously and tactically in order to get to a conviction and hopefully a firing squad execution of those who killed Charlie. That is what I want as Charlie's friend. I also want some major questions to be answered about what happened that day, about motivation, assistance, accessories to this murder. Will we get those answers? Well, we've already seen some major setbacks. Yesterday, judge rules on clothing courthouse cameras. The judge is not going to let cameras into the courthouse. At least won't be able to let Tyler Robinson, accused of Charlie's murder, get filmed. Judge Tony Graff will allow Tyler Robinson to appear in civilian clothing, so he won't have to be in courtroom garb, as we've seen here, in an anti-suicide vest. This is a vest that can't be torn, ripped, or used to hang oneself or injure oneself. Tyler Robinson being kept in a anti-suicide cell as well, with padded doors, locks, and walls. But he will be able to appear in court wearing a suit or civilian clothing, because the judge said, well, I don't want him to look guilty. Very bad. Lawyers also argue it would be necessary to avoid negative pretrial publicity. Robinson will remain shackled because of security concerns. The case has attracted an extraordinary amount of public and media attention. Images of Robinson in jail clothing are likely to circulate widely and influence prospective jurors, they said. Robinson's accused of assassinating Charlie Kirk. He also said that the presumption of innocence outweighed any inconvenience by the sheriff's office might have with the request. This is wild. Many ordered that the media not film Robinson entering or exiting the courthouse or any images of his restraints. The judge would not rule on a request to ban cameras from the courthouse and to hold non-evidentiary hearings virtually. Instead, he ordered further briefings to justify. So we may not even be able to get cameras inside of the courthouse for Charlie's trial. These charges he faces are extraordinarily serious, carrying the potential penalties of life imprisonment or death. The safety of Mr. Robinson, his attorneys, and court staff, public must remain at the court's highest priority. So this left-wing judge, this lib judge, is now going to effectively give like massive concessions to Tyler Robinson and rob the American public of seeing this trial, it looks like. It has enraged me. I am furious about it. They do have a firing squad in Utah. The world should see this trial unfold, no exceptions. Do you understand like what's going to happen here if you don't have transparency on this issue? How enraged the American public will be. We want to see his trial, says Alex Clark. Obviously, a member of the Turning Point family. Lawyers for Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin asked to ban cameras. And now this. Charlie Kirk's suspected trans lover, Lance Twiggs, goes missing 6 weeks after political assassination. Would you look at that? The transgender lover of Charlie Kirk's alleged killer has seemingly vanished from his hometown. Just a reminder that Lance Twiggs was accessory to this murder. I'll say it. Because Lance Twiggs observed Tyler Robinson. I mean, this is the most charitable understanding of these very mysterious, very strange text messages that were released between the two of them, which don't make any sense. I'll straight up say it. They just make no sense. Everyone agrees with this. Like, none of them actually read accurately. None of them sound like two 20-year-old men texting each other. But he admits to killing. So if you were to accept at face value all the text messages, Tyler Robinson admits to killing Charlie Kirk. He says so to Lance Twiggs. Lance Twiggs then tries to destroy that evidence, doesn't report it to the police. Why isn't Lance Twiggs in prison? That's accessory to murder. That's assistance in this conspiracy to cover up this murder. In the text messages, he says, you witnessed me engraving all of the mean messages, to Charlie on these bullets. Wait a second. So, like, you witnessed your live-in boyfriend engraving messages on a bullets with a gun, like anti-Charlie Kirk messaging, anti-fascist messaging, transgender messaging, and then you just don't report any of that? Again, I feel like you could charge Lance Twiggs at the very least with accessory to this murder, with destruction of evidence. But nonetheless, nobody even knows where Lance Twiggs is. Lance Twiggs, 22, has been on the down low since his boyfriend, Tyler Robinson, allegedly shot Turning Point co-founder, sent Twiggs a string of text messages confessing to the slaying. Twiggs, of course, didn't turn him into the authorities and then destroyed evidence, according to the official story. Twiggs steered clear of his $1,800 a month love nest in the outskirts of an isolated desert oasis of St. George. Authorities previously said that he was cooperating with authorities, but Twiggs has refused to speak to the media while the Robinson was on trial. Robinson made a brief appearance on Monday where he mounted a legal argument. An Utah native asked that he be allowed to wear civilian clothes and so on, and not appear in shackles. The judge granted effectively all of his requests. Not a good ruling, frankly, for the prosecution. Robinson is set to appear again on January 16th, and his arraignment has been set for January 30th. Robinson and Twiggs, whom authorities are referring to as with masculine pronouns, moved in together sometime later in the latter devout Mormon parents booted him from their home. They have since reconciled. Twiggs' Venmo account shows several payments from his parents over the last 2 years, with a description including prescriptions and gas money. The latest payment from his dad occurred just a few months before Kirk was shot. It's unclear whether Twiggs is living with his parents 4 hours from Utah Valley, where Charlie Kirk was killed. Twiggs' car is now parked in his parents' driveway. Jesse Riley, somebody who lives down the road from Twiggs and Robinson's apartment, said he couldn't recall seeing any activity in the property. Since then, he just completely vanished. Family member told Fox News that Twiggs wasn't being respectful and was problematic, used drugs, and was addicted to online gaming. Others close to Twiggs tell a different story. They say that Twiggs described the teen as a good kid who cared about his friends. Okay, right, got it. Chances are he isn't missing at all. There's an obvious answer to this. How does this even happen, honestly? New photo of Lance Twiggs. There we go. Here's a new photo. What are the explanations for all of this? If Lance Twiggs isn't charged, the explanation is that he's going to testify against Tyler Robinson, perhaps, and that the feds have him in a safe house, and that they're using him to testify. That's the only explanation I can think of. That's it. Letting somebody like this, who is like an accessory to the largest profile murder in modern American history, just letting them go would be such a catastrophic failure of the feds. Not suspicious at all. Then anybody checked with animal control? Maybe he's microchipped. Nothing to see here. How is this even remotely possible? Transgender boyfriend continued to be coddled by his enabling mother that continued sending him money. There's a lesson here. Reportedly, Twiggs was using drugs and alcohol excessively, addicted to gaming, transitioning from male to female, and had been kicked out of his parents' house at 18. This was the townhouse that they were in. The family member stopped because Twiggs was an angry person with anybody supportive of conservative ideals and Christian values. Got it? And now gone. The neighbor saying really suspicious activity before Charlie's death. I've never really seen anybody dressed in all black with a mask on. Random guys don't hold hands, and they definitely don't kiss. Neighbor saying that they were just extremely suspicious and strange. What is the explanation for this? There's only one that I would accept, because I do not accept that you just like let him go and that he's in Mexico or he's fled or he's like out of the country and he's to a non-extradition country right now. If that's the case, then I'm going to be furious. I better see Lance Twiggs charged or at trial or like at that trial testifying against Tyler Robinson, giving the feds absolutely everything that they need and all of the evidence. Like that's the only explanation, in my opinion, is witness protection. The feds building a case and doing witness protection, and this would be like the live-in boyfriend would be the accessory to all of this, would be the witness to all of this. And then he pleads out, right? He gets charged, and in order to cooperate, Tyler Robinson gets the death penalty. Lance Twiggs gets the next 40 years in prison, but avoids like the accessory to murder charges or something like that. That's how this stuff normally works. That or he's fled the country. Of course, that is untenable. That make people very angry, including me. It's your boy Benny. Let me know what you think in the comment section.